Hi guys, welcome to your U9L2 Notes. Today we are going to continue our unit on inequalities. Now I highly recommend that you take these notes and you print them out. You are going to remember things a lot better. It's going to stick in your brain a lot better if you actually print and write on paper. So please print this out on actual paper and fill this in as we go. So today we are solving addition and subtraction inequalities. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to solve inequalities involving addition and or subtraction. So remember, when we have an equation, so we're talking about inequalities today, things that are not equal. If you had an equation like x plus 2 equals 5, the way that we solve that is we're trying to get this x all by himself. So what we do, in fact, we undo what is happening to our x. So we're going to undo that plus 2 by a minus 2. And what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So on our first side, that plus 2 and that minus 2, they cancel out, leaving us with just x. And on this other side, 5 minus 2 is 3. This gives us x equals 3. And we know that 3 is a solution because if we were to take our 3 and plug it in for x, well, 3 plus 2 equals 5. Is that true? Well, last time I checked it is. So for solving equations, we undo what we did to our x to find our solution, and then we checked by plugging our solution back into our original equation. That's what we're going to do today. So if we're solving an inequality for a variable, we are going to undo what is happening to it. So let's look at activity 1. And we are going to solve the inequality, and then we're going to check our solution by plugging it back in. Let's write that. Plug back in. And to solve each inequality, we are going to undo. To check our solution, we're going to plug back in, and then to graph it, that's when we have our number line, and we put it on this guy right here. So let's look at him. Here we've got a plus 5 is greater than or equal to 20. Now looking at this a plus 5, what is happening to our a? Well, what's happening to our a is we have this plus 5. What is going to undo a plus 5? To undo a plus 5, well, the opposite of plus is minus, so we need to minus 5. And of course, what we do to one side, we need to do to the other side. So on our first side, we are left with a plus 5 minus 5. Well, that cancels out, is greater than 20 minus 5 is 15. So our solution is that a is greater than 15. Now to check this, we're going to pick any number that is greater than 15. How about 20? And let's plug that back into our original equation. Is it true that 20 plus 5 is greater than or equal to 20? Well, 25 is greater than 20, so yes, that's true. It works. Yay! And then finally, we are going to graph our solution. We solved our inequality by undoing. We checked our solution by plugging it back in, and then we are going to graph it. So let's give ourselves a number line. And here we're graphing a is greater than or equal to 15, so we should put 15 at our center. Let's pick some numbers to either side of it. How about, 16 and 14? And to graph a is greater than or equal to 15. Well, we've got that equal to guy right in there, which means we want a solid circle on our 15. And we already checked, hey, 20 works, so we need to find numbers greater than 15, so we are going this way. If you need to redo that, go ahead and rewind the video. If not, go ahead and look ahead at number 2. Go ahead and try it yourself before I do. So go ahead and pause the video and then try it. Okay, now let's see if you did it correctly. So our first step to solve the inequality, we want to undo what is happening to our b. What's happening to our b? Well, we've got a minus 7. To undo our minus 7, we need to add 7. Of course, we add 7 to both sides. So on this side, b stays the same. Minus 7 plus 7, those cancel each other out. Like this, b is greater than 9 plus 7 is 16. So we undid the minus 7 by doing plus 7. And now to check our solution, we are going to plug something greater than 16 back into our original equation. Well, what's greater than 16? 20 is. So is it true that 20 minus 7 is greater than 9? So we pick something, we picked a number greater than 16, like 20. 20 we plug back into b. Is 20 minus 7 greater than 9? Well, 13 is greater than 9, so yes, that is true. Now let's go ahead and graph our solution by putting it on a number line. We are graphing b is greater than 16, so let's center around 16. Numbers greater are 17, less than is 15. Now b is greater than 16, but there is no equal to 16. So we need to give ourselves an open circle on our graph. And again, we have a greater than, so we're going this way. So again, our first step is we undo what happens. We get our solution, we plug it back in to check our work, and then finally graph it on a number line. Think you got it? Follow these same 3 steps on number 3. Pause the video, try it for yourself, and when you're done, hit play and we'll check your work. Let's check your work. So here on number 3, I see I have a negative 5 plus c is less than or equal to 0. Now I have this beautiful c right here. What's happening to my c? Well, we are adding a negative 5 to it. And what's going to undo adding my negative 5? Well, there are 2 things we could do. We could either subtract a negative 5, or if you remember, minus a negative is the same thing as adding a positive. And that's much easier, so let's do that one. Because adding 5 is going to undo minus 5 plus 5 minus 5, that's 0. So we're going to add 5 to both sides. Now here on our first side, minus 5 plus 5, that comes out to 0, leaving us with just c is less than or equal to 5. That means no matter what c is, as long as c is less than 5, this will come out less than 0. Let's pick something less than 5. How about 1? And let's see if that works. Is it true that negative 5 plus 1 is less than or equal to 0? Well, negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4, and negative 4 is less than 0. So yes, we did this correctly. And finally, after we undid, we plugged back in. Let's graph our equation. Sorry, our inequality. Let's graph our inequality. Getting the right tool on there. We had c is less than or equal to 5. I guess if that's my solution, I should be circling these. Circle, answer, circle, answer. Great. If we want to graph c is less than or equal to 5, let's go ahead and put 5 on our number line, surrounded by 4 and 6, its best friends. Alrighty, so we are graphing c is less than or equal to 5. Because we have this equal to, that's going to give us a closed circle on our 5, and c is less than 5 goes this way, because 4 is less than or equal to 5, so we know our graph works. So we've done it. That's our key idea of the day so far. We just solved inequalities, we used addition, and we used subtraction. Now let's go ahead and put it into practice with some actual real things that could happen. So first, we have this guy, Gabe. You guys may or may not know him. I hope you do. He's a cool guy. So he's out golfing, and he's at the last hole. That's the 18th hole, in case you're curious, on his favorite golf course. If you want to know what his favorite golf course is, you're going to have to ask him yourself. But we do know that par for the course is 72. That's going to be important. Now, Gabe's already shot 68 so far. He's made 68 strokes on that course. So how many strokes on this hole will result in a score under par? Now, under par means that his score, whatever his score is, his score needs to be less than but not equal to 72. Because if Gabe scores exactly 72, then he hits par. We need something under par, so it's strictly less than 72. Okay, so we know that his total score is going to be 68 plus however much he gets on this hole. Needs to be strictly less than 72. Now that we've got that inequality set up, go ahead and solve it. Pause this video. I'll be right here. Let's see how you do. All right, let's see how you did. Now, when I look at this guy, I see that we've got a 68 plus an X. So I want to go ahead and I want to undo this 68 right here. So to undo that, I am going to minus 68 from both sides. So I minus 68 here, minus 68 there. The 68s on this left side will cancel, will cancel out, giving us just an X. X is less than 72 minus 68 is... So Gabe needs to make less than 4 strokes. I think he can do it. In our next one, we have this guy, Caleb. He currently weighs 187 pounds. Now, he wants to lose weight so he can qualify for the 175-pound boxing class. I think that's called a light heavyweight. You can look that up. Anyway, so he currently weighs 187. And he needs to lose at least some sort of amount of weight. We don't know. We're trying to find it. To weigh 175 pounds. So what we're going to do is we're going to undo what is happening to our X. What is currently happening to our X is this plus 175. So let's go ahead and undo that with a minus 175. But of course, what you do to one side, you gotta do to the other. So they will even out. So 187 minus 175 is 12. 12 is greater than X. So Caleb needs to lose at least 12 pounds. Oh, at least, huh? This should be equal to at least 12 pounds. And finally, we've got the lovely Emily and her affinity for list making. Emily loves to make lists, and that's a great skill. I love to make lists too. So Emily's got a list of all the points she has earned in English class. She's earned 244 test points, 82 quiz points, and 50 homework points. She needs at least 475 points total to earn a B overall. So how many points must she score on the final exam to get that B? Well, let's add up all the points she has so far. We start with 244 test points, and then her 82 quiz points. We also have 50 homework points, and then we need something to represent her final exam score. What do you guys think? How about a B? She wants to earn a B. So there we go. To get Emily's B, she needs at least 475 points. What do you think is our first step? You're right. We should add up all of her current points right now. 244 plus 82 plus 50. Plug that into your calculator real quick. Pause the video and plug it in. Go. Did you get 376? I hope so, or else one of us is wrong. 376 plus b is greater than or equal to 475. Now what do we do? That's right, we need to undo our 376 plus b. So to undo that, we need to minus 376 from both sides. This will give us a final score of b is greater than or equal to 99. So our dear Emily needs to earn at least 99 points on the final exam, and of course she's going to do a great job. So there you have it. Those are our 9.2 notes. Today we solved inequalities with addition and subtraction. And remember, our key idea is you want to undo what is happening to your variable. Have fun on your homework.